All right, folks, what we're going to do here is we're going to show you information related to National General quoting tools. So bear with me 1 second. Let me get things set up here a little bit. Make sure that all this comes out fine. Okay. All right. So here, if you should all have gotten a link to your National General back office. Okay, you should have gotten that for your back office. And from this area here, you can actually use it to find client information. It's really handy. But at the same time, if you go under here, under where it says quote, you click on quote, and you click the short-term supplemental. So here you see the National General log-on screen, and here just you should have your agent information, password. If you have to register initially, you would do that down here, but I've done that, so I just click. And one of the things you're going to see here, first thing is put in the zip code. So I'm just putting in a Florida zip code here. So if you were to put in the zip code of a state that you're not licensed in or aren't set up correctly, it's not going to let you. Like I'm not licensed in the state of Washington. So if I put in a zip code there for the state of Washington, it wouldn't let me show this. But I'm licensed in Florida. And here is where it gets started. And you know, one little quirk here, you understand this is you can write a child-only plan with National General. Really handy. Really handy. This could come in and if you need to do that, you would just click child only. But most of the time, you'll be, you know, an applicant by themselves, or you can add family members, a spouse. You've got a lot of options there as well. You know, on same-sex partner now, life partner, domestic partner. You can put a spouse if they have children. You just click child. You can add more dependents if you want. There is a limit here. You'll find if you get a really large family, the quoting tool, it just puts a crimp in it. But for now, let's not worry about that. And then you put in the gender. Okay, and I'm not going to put all these because it'll take too much time. We're going to put one child here, a male, then you put in the date of birth, okay? So for simplicity's sakes here, you know, 01, say 1980, we're going to try to get a 41-year-old kind of couple here. You'll see the prices really well. Here you would select if they smoke. If they did smoke, you're going to get the calendars pop up here, but hopefully they don't. And then the prior medical coverage, it's actually better if they have had medical coverage. You're going to get better rates. You click yes. And then for the spouse here, let's just say same age. Okay, and this is here, let's say that you're not a smoker. They had medical coverage. And this here, you've got let's just say a 21-year-old child. Okay, so let's make it a 15-year-old. So 0101. Well, 16 it'll be. So 16-year-old child here, prior medical coverage. Here on the lower left, you put in the dates to get started. If you just wanted to do a quote, you select the next date, and this is going to bring up the plan. See, I made a mistake there. So if I didn't on the child, they're not a smoker. So if you didn't have it all selected, it's going to then say, hey, you got to do this. So here, kind of give it a sec. And then what I do is just click See All Plans. You can get things set up here if you want, but I just click the select See All Plans and let it come up. So when it does come up, okay, one of the things you want to make note of is you have these different boxes. These are how they're separated, okay? It'll default to the short-term plan, and this is your bread and butter plan here. And if you scroll down, you'll see the different options. So this is not necessarily a product training. I want to try to show you this, but I will get into that a little bit. But here are the dental plans, and certain states now have some really strong dental plans with NatGen, so you should really look at that. 15 plans, like here in Florida, they got some really good dental plans. We'll talk about dental, or you learn about dental on your own, but know the states, like fish in the right pond. But here in Florida, the NatGen dental plans are really good. Fixed indemnity are the zero deductible fixed benefit plans. Usually when I write those, it's with United Healthcare, much stronger. But these are indemnity plans, zero deductible fixed benefit plans here. And if you click on there, you'll see how you go to a different grouping of plans. And you can do the same here. But I, myself, am an under 65 market, so I don't usually do Medicare supplement, and also the age of this individual wouldn't be in this category anyway. You have different plans, but for the most part, I only, other than dental, I will go with a short-term plan when I'm writing NatGen, and I will supplement it with, you click over here on accident. And when you go on accident, let it come up sometimes, you'll see, and this is where you have AME, accident medical expense, that you have that. But these are usually, these areas up here is what I usually choose. So let me show you how I would build a plan. So I will normally do a short-term plan. And notice here you have different options here. So this is a 12-month, which it'll default to. It'll default to monthly payment. You can actually write a single payment for the whole year, and I've done that several times. But usually you'll do monthly. 12 months, and this would end up being a one-year plan. But this is also down here where you can add the renewals. And you have different options of renewals. But my option on renewals is I just click the 2 renewals. You can give a fixed price for 36 months, but I don't think it really works out best for people that way. When you click the renewals, that does make sense. It really does make sense to add that on there. It doesn't add a lot to the premium, and it's really helping out people better overall because they can stay in this plan for up to 36 months and then renew it. So take advantage of that, too, for building your book, because you're going to have a lot of business that just gets automatically renewed. It's a great thing. The clients like it because it's simple and they can stay in the plan. But for purposes right here, knowing you have different options, I will usually pair this enhanced PPO plan at the 5K 50/50. So understand what coinsurance is. So here, this coinsurance is 100%, meaning that any expenses over $5,000 begin to get covered at 100% right away. So that becomes your max out-of-pocket $5,000. You add a coinsurance element to it. Here, in both of these cases here, in the enhanced version, whether it's 50/50 or 80/20, in both cases, they add $5,000, and it's capped after the deductible. It's just really on an 80/20 plan. It would take longer till the out-of-pocket max of $10,000 was hit, that additional $5,000. But really, in my opinion, if someone's going to have a heart attack or cancer or things like that, it's not going to matter because the cap is going to be $10,000 either way. But if you notice here, difference in premiums. So just kind of understand that here. 100% coinsurance for this individual, for this family of 3, is $6. It's a family of 3, by the way. So $684.17. But then if you go to a $10,000 max out of pocket, it's going to lower that premium down here. That's like $190 here. That's like $2,400 a year. So it's a big difference in savings. So what I normally will do is do the 5K 50/50, and then I'll look at the supplementary coverage and I look at overall. But understand supplementary coverages, okay? Understand them. The bread and butter value one is one's at the top here, Trio Med. Understand, read the brochures. Trio meaning 3 areas. If this plan here, this one particularly, would be a $10,000 benefit, it's guaranteed issue, and it's for critical illness, accident medical expense, and there's an accidental death and dismemberment element in that on there. So understand when people have larger claims, they will tend to fall under 3 general areas. I mean, they're going to be an accident, it's going to be a critical illness like cancer, heart attack, stroke, or it could be just inpatient sickness. So there is a difference of someone going into the hospital for cancer versus someone going into the hospital for pneumonia. So understand if they are seen as a critical illness, when you understand the supplements here. And I mention that because when you get into the enhancer series here, down below it, they're a little bit more expensive, but you can find them when it says sickness. This is a supplement for inpatient sickness. So a supplement like this one is broader in the areas it could cover of larger claims. I hope that makes sense. So as an example here, a $10,000 benefit, which is the benefit that I would use to fill that gap related to the $10,000 max out of pocket of the main plan. So to match them up, I look for a $10,000 benefit plan, but then understand I could just go 92 here, 92.55, and for that it ends up being 578.09. And also, as I'm talking to people, I got a pad of paper, and I'm kind of keeping track of these numbers because I really want to help them and show them the differences. But as comparison here, if you put that enhancer version for this family, a $10,000 benefit here, and you got to scroll down, it's really by price. But if you notice here on the $10,000 benefit, that is $151.68. So if you were to add that to this plan, now the premium is $643.22, and that's a difference of like $65. It's a difference of that, and it adds up though over the year. But this plan is going to be better at covering a broader area of larger claims because it adds the sickness inpatient component to it. And I hope this makes sense, because not only am I trying to show you how to use the tools just to kind of point and click, I'm also trying to help you to build the plan. And again, when you're writing short-term plans, the short-term medical plans, traditional plans that are going to have deductibles and max out-of-pocket, these are plans, as I try to instruct you, of talking about a balance of coverage of day-to-day needs and protection. These plans will lean more towards the protection side. Again, as I present this to people, I say these are plans that will cover you 100% up to $1 million for critical illness. Accident medical expense shouldn't be more than $250 the way this plan is structured. And this plan also comes with other benefits like telemedicine doctors, like discounts on lab work, network discounts, $50 access to urgent care and walk-in clinics. And it also comes with me, who will help you with these plans. And I add these things to it to try to help them. But if you're writing a short-term medical plan, this is the way to go, considering that they're going to qualify for it based on being in good health. So what I would recommend here, to also there, if you want to look at the 3-year option here. So here, I'll show you if you add the 3-year to it. Watch here, it's going to go from 643, it's probably going to go to like 695, let's see. See how close I was there. 690, how about that? 690.37. It doesn't add a whole lot to it. So that is what I do, is I try to build plans for people using these tools. So I'm going to kind of take it off lecture mode here. I'm going to go back in and let me try to answer some questions here. All right. So first off, was that helpful? I mean, and you guys are on mute, so if you do try to talk.
Yes.
So, but, you know, give me some questions here, because, I mean, this is being recorded, and hopefully it has been helpful.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead.
But questions, please, yeah.
Yeah, when you do the short-term policy for somebody and you want to add the enhancer, what approach are you really taking to sell the enhancer to that person? I
really build it in up front.
Okay.
So I package it as a whole solution, really.
Okay. And then how do you kind of describe like why that's okay? I see what you're doing, but how do you explain it to like why is that important to have it on there?
Because number one, this plan is structured to cover them 100% for critical illness, and there's a relationship with the premiums and the max out of pockets. So you can go with a lower deductible, but you're going to have a much higher premium. But as you go to a higher deductible and max out of pocket, it's going to lower that premium, which is good. but the supplement helps to mitigate the exposure of a large out-of-pocket expense. So it's leveraging it because in most cases, people will not have a large, just from regular day-to-day, they're not going to hit their deductible or max out-of-pocket. The concern, if they have an event that's going to be like, and again, different types, but they typically fall under accident, things like cancer, heart attack, stroke, critical illnesses, or also inpatient sickness. And that's the area you're trying to mitigate. As I also talk to people about health insurance, I explain to them it's options based on realities. So this goes in, if you go to the getaffordablehealthcoverage.com and just watch that video, it's a 4-minute presentation. That's how I explain health coverage. Options based on realities, and you're looking to help people get a balance of coverage for day-to-day needs and for protection. You can't have it all, but you can get people in the best plans for their needs. So these plans here are really weighted towards protection. And again, they're structured to cover them 100%, for things like critical illnesses. And that is how I present it. And then when it comes into pricing, I just say to them, are you comfortable? Is this a comfortable level for you? And that's a read on it as well, because if somebody says it's too expensive, well, then you do have different options, and you get a read on, well, what is comfortable for you? What is your need? And sometimes, depending on the situation, you can always write a fixed indemnity plan that's going to be much lower. You got these prices here, but it's not the same quality of the plan for someone like this who maybe go to the doctors once, twice a year, And so when I explain it to people, I'm primarily using short-term medical plans and indemnity plans. Those are the types of plans. And depending on someone's budget, someone's need for day-to-day coverage, and someone's need for protection, that's where I try to arrive using this set of products.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you.
One little element, too, thank you for that, is if you're looking to trim things down, if I were to put one supplement on at all, I would start with accident medical expense. Statistically, now I haven't done my numbers on this, but I think logically it makes sense. The probability of a claim arising from an accident is much higher than a claim for critical illness. I always kind of say critical illness is like a reverse lottery ticket in life. And it can happen, but it's unlikely, but it can happen, and it could be really significant. But if people don't have the budget for that, like all that enhancer, if you even just start with accident medical expense there at $10,000, this family for $3,630 here, so if I were to make a little change here, you could take out this, again, the pricing, but now they're covered up to, for accident medical coverage is really well, and now that's down to $574, and that's on a 3-year plan. So that's where if you were to take it away, but add back a little bit to minimize the risk exposure, the first place to start will be put it with accident medical expense, because right there you've just taken a whole lot of risk out of a large claim just by adding that $3,630.
Nice.
And that's understanding these plans. And again, you're balancing protection, you're balancing risk, and you're balancing budget.
Got it. And so would you say like short-term plans are more designed based on the traditional, the ACA plans, and then the fixed indemnities are more kind of somebody who needs coverage but don't have a lot going on, or they don't go in?
Exactly. No, exactly. And the way, when I think about it too, is somebody's does not have health insurance right now at all, and they're considering spending money towards health insurance. I think logically a lot of times for someone to be on an indemnity plan, while that's not necessarily always going to be the best plan for them, it's getting their foot in the water, because now when they go to a doctor, they're going to get first dollar coverage. So and as you understand these plans, you can explain it that way, because that's part of being an advisor, and to be able to add your expertise into the differences of the plans, and again, to try to match them up. You're trying to match them up. to plans to say, yeah, I think you're going to be more comfortable with that plan. When someone thinks about, okay, I go to the doctor now, and they're going to pay $125 towards that cost of that visit, which you get from like United Healthcare's Health Protector Guard. Little things like that really help to match. Once you're matching people up, that's how you're going to start writing business, because that's really what we do, is we try to match people up with the right plan.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Norma, how about you?
I had a question. It kind of left my mind. I should have written it down. But I think my question was, what usually determines what enhancement plan you recommend, the trio or the other?
Well, I normally almost always start with this one and matching up the benefit amount. So if you're on number one, the benefit level is if you're selling a plan that has a max out of pocket of, let's say, $5,000, I wouldn't go with the $10,000. I would go with the $5,000, right? But if I'm looking, does that make sense right there? Where if the max out of pocket, I try to match up the max out of pocket with the benefit level of these supplements.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Okay, and then understand this, there's differences here. Like here, this is your value supplement here. Trio, meaning 3 areas for critical illness, accident, medical expense, and AD&D. Okay, and these are different benefit levels. And I mean, look at what you get in risk. You're minimizing risk. But then understand this is an individual, AME, accident medical expense. This one here adds sickness to it, $2,500 level, see how it's priced. This is AME by itself, $10,000 level, which I'm saying in this case would be my go-to. For that reason, it's a $10,000 benefit, and of the 3 broad areas where large claims can take place, which is accidents, which is critical illnesses, and inpatient sickness, well, this covers one of the 3, and that even statistically covers a big area. So that's where I might choose that. But understand the differences here as you see the way they're priced. Like this is CHS, is cancer, heart attack, and stroke. That's what that stands for. And see how these are. And then, like, even if you went with I've written plans like this, which are pretty cool. If you're looking for someone like here, a short-term plan, you could put together a $25,000 deductible plan, right? That's a really high deductible, but they have a supplement here, Trio Men at the bottom, that for critical illness is a $30,000 benefit.
Okay.
So if someone got cancer on this plan, they're in the exchange, they're going to come out $5,000 ahead. Right. And this also includes $5,000 towards accident medical expense. And look at this, $498.49, and that's a 3-year plan as well. But again, $25K deductible. And by the way, here on these plans, you can even go lower. Let's say, do I have preferred rates? I don't even have preferred rates. So let's say I'm just saying here, and understand the preferred rate makes this even lower. And sometimes it makes it hard because you haven't asked the people all the questions yet to see if they qualify for the preferred rate. So sometimes it's tricky with National General, the nuances here when you click here, whether they had coverage or not, or whether they qualify based on these qualifications, which the main ones are if they're taking any medication for high blood pressure or anxiety and depression. These are, but they, DUI, DWIs, motorcycle. So you got to, do these things here. There's a weight restriction. But if they qualify for it, it's going to lower that rate even more. And a lot of people do qualify. And just kind of know that in the plan. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right. And this is, we've got about 25 minutes. This is good for today. And, but Mark, you good? I know Mark's been writing a while. Okay. All right. Well, folks, I am going to end the recording now. I want to thank you for getting on and joining it. National General is going to be your main carrier. You also get a 1.25, 1.2 bump towards your AB. That goes towards your partnership bonus as well. So you really do want to write a lot of National General. They're great plans, great options, very well priced in the marketplace. When it comes to short-term medical plans, I'm normally writing National General over United Healthcare. And when it comes to the indemnity plans, I'm normally writing United Healthcare over National General. And again, I sell primarily short-term medical and the indemnity plans to help people get that balance of coverage, day-to-day needs, and protection. And that's really tries to be that simple. And if people can qualify for these plans, this gives them a great option with health coverage options that are both strong and affordable. And that's really what it's all about. So thank you again. Stay posted. Everybody should try to have a plan. Who you're contacting, why, what are your times, what tools are you using? Because it's a stage you're in, and we always stay in, you got to have lead generation being a constant to grow your business. So if you need help with that, ideas, for me, it's calling out to realtors using Prospect Boss. I don't think there's a better way for you to get leads and less expensive. And I have tens of thousands of records that I can share with you and get you smiling and dialing. So thank you again. Let's see you on the leaderboard. I want to congratulate Dee on his first paid app from last week. Dee, hopefully you saw your name on the leaderboard because you're on there in this week's meetings. Notes.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, yes, congratulations on that. So have a wonderful day, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.